Say something.
There you go.
Now I hear you.
All right.
Cool, man.
What's
How?
up, dude?
It's good to see you, man. You look good. Fucking
Fucking cold, man.
Chileno carnal. Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys age well.
dude. I was about to shave. I don't like this white beard, but fuck it. It's cold. Finally getting cold out here.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's good looking. I had a good, I don't know if you saw my winter beard from New Hampshire, like a fucking wood, like a woodsman chopping wood with a fucking big ass beard.
you look like a Unabomber, dude.
Well, now I'm Cali, I'm going to the beach, right? You wouldn't believe. I hate to show you. It would be cruel to show you what's
Yeah.
outside the window here, man. It's like
No, no.
beautiful
Thanks.
Santa Cruz beach.
Appreciate it. Moon Bay, probably. You fucker.
Yeah, yeah, man. And
You know, I could totally picture you in Cali, Colombia.
yeah,
You know, that's
yeah,
where the shit is at right now.
yeah, yeah. What's going on there?
I mean, Duque is it's a fascist, man. I mean, he inherited power from this guy Uribe. Uribe is, in Colombia they have a word, matarife, freaking killer.
Yeah,
He's also Gaviria. You um, that's his last name, Uribe Gaviria, and Colombia, dude, it's just magical realism all over again. It's like not even Faulkner could have written it better. It's amazing. One day of protest, they killed 6 people and nobody says shit. Hey, dude, why are we recording this? Tell me again, who's your friend?
he's got a podcast. I don't know if I can use much of it, but I was gonna go on there and talk about well, they do more like kind of realism. They talk about China and U.S. stuff, and they want to do an episode on Latin America. They're gonna talk about this guy Tony Wood reviewed a book by Tea Rianfrancos, I think is her name. It's like I don't know. There's not much there. She's writing about this like extractivismo bullshit. Like I think that um, you
You
know
mean extra activismo,
it's like
like the
their critique of
neoliberalism, like economical bullshit?
it's no, it's like their critique of it's this kind of idea that like Correísmo and Maduro that they're extractivists that they want to use the natural resources for like their own clique, even on their own terms, just for like building a kind of welfare state, but that it's sort of almost like an eco-indigenous perspective that like that's
Right.
all just like extraction from the ground, and you
And
know
you're
some,
and you're and you're against that?
well, some of us think that this is kind of like CIA, like a pseudo left, like Yacu Perez in Ecuador, that is a spoiler for the right. Tell me.
No, no. It's just that there's an ingredient here that you never quite grasp, really. And this is, this whole movement in Latin America, which is anti-Europeism. So in a lot of this native, um, which is not the case in Chile just yet, but when you go to countries like Peru and Ecuador that have a more fluid representation of native people, they live well without extracting it. Why should they extract it now?
Mhm.
And here's the thing: if you if you come from a matrix where left and right, being left doesn't guarantee you not being an extra activist. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The Chinese are dilapidando. They're plying and pillaging Africa for all its resources. They don't care what waste they leave behind. You know, so it's like being a communist, a Marxist, like in the Soviet Union, doesn't prevent you from committing two of the most major ecological crimes: Chernobyl and the emptying of the sea. What is the name of the sea? Can't remember. So there's the anniversary of Jose Carlos Mariátegui, who's probably one of the biggest Marxist theorists in Latin America. El Amauta, they call him, yeah. the teacher. And this whole thing that, we need to blend, and this Eurocentric matrix of Marxism doesn't really cut it. We need to study it, but, obviously it's not what is going to be propelled into the future from this corner of the world, And the ecological aspect is, when we speak in Chile, sustainable economy, I'm not going to extract more than will equal me interfering in the habitat. You know what I'm saying? In Chile, extractivism has caused serious ecological issues, but serious living issues for human.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But let's talk a little bit about this kind of idea of like a fake left, or I don't know if this term astroturfing, like you take Bolivia, right? You have the Mas government where it seems to me, you can correct me anywhere, mm-hmm. but that he allowed for this kind of urban middle class to kind of surge. That wasn't just him. That this also sort of coincided with a big, commodity price boom across the region. But then that urban middle class kind of adopted very Western politics around like gender identity, and that was sort of the basis for some of the delegitimization campaign against him that helped the coup in 2019. What do you think about?
Yeah, I mean, we can go fast forward and go to Castillo and in Peru, and here's the catch-22 of your argumentation is that from the get-go you say this pseudo left, so that makes you a true left. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? And well, tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. I tend to believe that when people go into that ground, they're referring to be true Marxists, but Leninists. Well, that don't really come out of the
CIA is like making advertisements, like trying to recruit on the basis of a kind of like, trans Chicana, this is like leftist, now we don't.
That's what Sanders is, and I tend to be on Sanders' side. I mean, why did I bring you Castillo now? Because, what's happening in Peru. First of all, you need to take into consideration that they have a very high antibody for the left. Just the fact that Castillo's there, that's amazing to me.
It's amazing, yeah. Right? Well, don't you think it's smart that
let me finish. Here you have, this progressists, progresistas,
Yeah.
don't really know what that means, but this liberal left, and I tend to tend that way.
Mm-hmm.
That Castillo's anti-feminist, anti-abortion, anti-gay,
Yeah.
anti this whole liberal
Yeah.
rights,
Right.
and that's la cuña, in Spanish. I can't remember the word in English, but
Cradle.
that thing that you insert there to break shit up, especially wood. You know what I mean? La cuña. That's where your liberties, your freedoms, your personal freedoms mean more than the social balance necessary for the whole to function. And
Right.
we are in that cleavage, as we say. We say that we use the word clivaje, and people ask me, what does clivaje mean in English? Cleavage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, here that's what the Western experience is. You know what I mean? I don't think I could be a communist in China. I like my individuality. And whenever we focus our discussions on the left, we need to assume, we need to really face our defeat in the 80s, which came from, the onslaught of the neoliberalism with its tricks up their sleeve, like the creation of credit, like real socialisms fell because people wanted it freedom and they wanted it goods and they wanted to purchase good. They equal purchasing power to well-being. And we were not capable of selling well-being over purchasing power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Moscow, people wanted a Levi's, and the Communist Party of the Soviet Union didn't find nothing better than to publish a study that Thai jeans cause testicular cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody believes them.
Yeah, I guess for Pinochet, it's kind of effective to, on the one hand, bind personal liberties and like market freedoms, and on the other hand, like the alternative is like these torture camps where, like, if those are your two options, that's pretty successful.
Actually, the Gulag or the invisible, shanty towns along shopping malls. You know what I mean? And that's what we have here in Chile, where the neoliberalism over privatization and the mercantilization of social services, the PIB, el Producto Bruto, the index shows Chile having 22,000 per capita. There's no fucking way Chileans make $22,000 per capita a year. Mm-hmm. Some make more, but the great majority don't, and neoliberalism has triumphed in the Chilean system because poverty is measured by the purchasing power. So here people, they take the Weber, maxim that, I belong to the social class which purchasing power or status quo I can afford. So we have self-claimed middle-class people who don't own a house, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. who don't own a car, don't have a university degree, mm-hmm. and dude, how can you be a fucking middle class?
Yeah, yeah.
If you ask me, having a Marxist upbringing, class is defined by the role you fulfill in the production of goods that can acquire surplus value.
Mhm.
So if I work for a wage, I'm a laborer. I'm
Yeah.
a poor man. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
so we're speaking in different terms. You know what I mean? And, and and obviously, you know, Gramsci has. They could not have done this without the cultural hegemony they have, and we haven't been able to raise up, face them in their terms. You know, subcultures are prolific, but with this globalization, we're still not able of connecting the dots. And we could be a much better matrix of rebel cells going around, you know, the V for Vendetta kind of mask is a good icon to follow. Um, but you know what I'm saying? I find it tremendous for the struggle worldwide that the United States is waking up and they're facing racism. You and I have always known this. And I can tell because you left me some very clever books about racism. And me having lived there for so long, I know how racist they are, you know?
oh, did you get the Robin Kelly book, Race Rebels? Did I leave that?
Yeah, you left
That-
that.
That's yeah, that's the shit right there. That dude's
Right. But it was, it reaffirmed a lot of stuff. So did I take you somewhere where we were not supposed to talk about?
it's all good. You know, yeah, that's an interesting place to take it to. You know, my friends largely in the U.S. were pretty deflated about politics here, but you know, we see Castillo. That's like the greatest thing. You know, that just is huge. So, I mean, what do you think might happen? It's like, you know, what do you think is going to happen in Peru in the next year?
The way he seems, you know, he had to make a pact with a more modern, should I say, or more liberal left.
Yeah.
You know, the Castillo election, personally, in my party in Chile, caused a lot of arguments. You know, I work at the Relaciones Internacionales, International Relations Committee, and the Human Rights Committee. You know, and I represent the party in the Progressive International. But you know, we are a party that is led by a 22-year-old girl, woman. She's a woman. She's a political science. But you know, I'm used to calling a 22 a girl. You know, and I can realize my chauvinism, and the feminism is very strong. So
Yeah.
they were not they were not pleased to openly support Castillo, you know. And here's the thing,
Amazing.
and, and here's the thing where Marxists have made a mistake, especially Che Guevara, you know, who transposed his experience in Cuba into Bolivia
Hmm.
very focally.
Hmm.
And, you know, Peru is definitely not Chile, you know,
Yeah.
and and if you want to run an economy, you know, it cannot be Amazon based. You know what I'm saying? And Castillo is really strong in the countryside, you know,
Yeah.
in el altiplano. But you know, I don't. It's gonna be it's really gonna be interesting. I think if he could make the strategic move of realizing that you won by such a narrow margin, if you could realize a maxim of Machiavelli You know, I want my friends close, but my enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
I would invite, Keiko Fujimori and show a unity, a huge sign of unity,
Yeah.
and invite her into cabinet,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and have her so close that, you can't even organize a meeting to overthrow me. I want you that close. Because if you leave her to her own device, that bitch, before she goes to jail again, is going to pull out a military coup or something.
Yeah, they're
You
talking about
know,
it, man. They and the Western press is like playing right into the playbook, Um, all the coverage is like, the two extremes, and Peru's democracy is like, in shambles. Like the idea of like it's just amazing that that playbook has been so consistent since at least Allende, since Mossadegh. It's like the sort of specter of nationalization.
you always have. I mean, they're talking about crap about Chile, and my candidate Gabriel Boric, and the so-called communist candidate. We are solidificating this pact.
Mm,
I don't know what we're going to call it in the future, but now it's a prueba de dignidad.
cool.
Um, that's the primaries that we're working on right now, July 18th. Um, we're social democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, we are presenting. I mean, remember when the social upheaval peaked, and we had a slogan that, Chile is the cradle of neoliberalism.
And the
It will
grave.
be its tomb. You know, saw a meme the other day, had that same slogan and huge protests in the back, And at the bottom, it had one of the biggest malls, the one uptown, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and people doing lines to get in. It's like, dude, neoliberalism is so deep into the mentality.
Yeah.
They let you out for 1 second and they go to the mall, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and then 3 weeks later, they have to close the city down again because the shit is spreading. And Chile has over 70% of vaccination, dude.
Wow.
Imagine if we didn't have that, Brad.
That's amazing.
So whatever overcomes this neoliberalism, system, it's not going to be that far from it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you, dialectics are that.
Um,
Anyway,
Give me the timeline of the election. So Piñera has to go for re-election in 2022.
no, he can't. No,
Okay. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he's
You can't.
not going to.
Yeah.
you know, um,
But the
this is
main.
probably the worst government in the history of Chile. That's how bad it is. The guy showed up 146 in the Forbes list. His management managed to accrue over $40 million. Just his capital resting there. I think we got vaccines so fast because this guy has a percentage of the sales.
Yeah.
That's how dude, we are going to prosecute this fucker. I mean, that's how bad it's been. He makes profit of everything. Every household got a box of goods. Like spaghetti, salsas, shit like that, oatmeal, rice, beans. And I can tell you, because of the brand names, this guy made money out of that. That's how fucked up it is. So,
you know, just to kind of take it back for a second to what I mentioned in Ecuador about Yaku Perez, like it seems very likely that well, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious whether something like that could happen in Chile this time around because you know, the last election, I was there pretty much. We were talking when
yeah.
you guys should have been in the runoff, right? Instead of this kind of milquetoast guy from Bachelet's
Right.
party.
Yeah, but you gotta remember Correa. Correa is see. Here's the thing, and here's the problem with the left in general. Not because the guy is a populist, it means that it's the best for the left, and we need to really stop with the caudillos type of mentality, and that was the problem in Bolivia as well. You know, you had a party like Mas. Why didn't you let and the party solved the problem of the military coup and brought back, Evo Morales. The thing that to think that you need to be leading it for the process to happen is no trust in the education you have given, and and Correa is one of those characters, just like Evo Morales. He picked somebody who he thought could manage, and Lenny Moreno happened.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talk about an unpopular. I don't think Piñera could be as unpopular as that fucker. I don't think he
Yeah,
would.
it's more unpopular. Trust me.
That's a race to the bottom. But
It is a race to the bottom.
so there will be a runoff, right? In Chile, it'll be the same as last time. Two people will make it to the runoff.
Now, first we have the primaries on July 18th, and
Okay.
the center left, center, the ones who have governed Chile for over 30 years, they had 4 consecutive governments. They're not having legal primaries. That's the real interesting issue.
So is that for the is that your daughter?
Yeah, it's mine, and I have to take this, but how much longer do we have?
It's up to you, man. Yeah, take your call. It's okay.
No, that's going to be a long call.
Okay. Well, then can I just...
This is my friend from the Rastafarian order, and we are working for dispenalizing the self-cultivation of marijuana, because everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, and they're talking about legalization. And I don't want the state to get involved in what I smoke, what I not smoke.
Explíqueme solo unos datos sobre la elección. So first, the July 18th is just the candidates from each party.
The primaries for the right coalition, who have 4 candidates, and for us, who have the left, who have 2 candidates. And then in November is the presidential elections, okay. The consejeros regionales, the regional council,
yeah,
and deputies, representatives.
Okay.
So this year we're going to change, and now at the end of June, the Constitutional Assembly is meeting for the first time, and they have a 2-year term to write a new constitution for Chile.
Okay, yeah. Are you pretty optimistic about the people that got put on that?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
My little tiny political party has 6 of 150.
Yeah.
And our bloc has 28.
Frente Amplio?
Nobody had the 1/3 to veto anybody else. So it is the first constitution worldwide with Aboriginal representation. They have 15 candidates.
Yeah.
Representatives. It is a parity constitution, half a man, half a woman.
Okay. So the 28 is Frente Amplio. That's the block, you mean?
Yeah, Frente Amplio has 28.
And
And the right wing has 23. And the center has 20, I think.
the center
And
is
you
like
know,
the
the
Bachelet.
greatest winners here was La Lista del Pueblo, and they have like 17, I think.
Who are they?
And there's another independent list that has like 10. So
What is the Lista del Pueblo?
just all this, root based type of organizations that didn't agree with the pact
Yeah.
of having these elections, but here they are, you know, a smart move. You know,
Yeah.
you bitch and moan, but you're still part of it. But there's still, now we are ally with them and asking for all the political prisoners to be let go. We still have 77 people in preemptive jailing. All right, brother man, I gotta go.
Yeah, Ben. Wow. So good luck on July. That'll be the runoff. July 18th is where you'll figure out who the two candidates are.
Yeah,
And
I think mine is gonna win. Boric,
yeah,
Gabriel Boric.
he's in a pact with the Communist Party. So
Right.
and so together one of them can make it to the final runoff.
And that's gonna be the next president.
Yeah,
Remind you. Yeah.
that's big, bro. Okay, thanks so much for
It
chatting.
is. All right,
Mi
brother.
compañero. Okay,
Whenever you want, give me a call.
yeah,
We
abrazo.
want to see you back in Chile, brother.
It's gonna happen, bro. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Be
Akarima,
good.
abrazo.
Just catch a good wave in California. It brings you back. Don't worry. Long ass wave.
Yeah, like the old fucking Navadoros.
Right. All right, man. Peace.
Okay, much love.